Oh. Hello. There's a little later one today, guys. I was finishing something up. Had to start a little bit late today. Things are green, I guess. That's what we're doing here. Let's go into Weeble. It's been a little, well, it's been a little crazy. That's for sure. S&P is up pre-market. Palantir is up pre-market. Pretty much all these stocks are up in the pre's of the market. Good morning, everybody. Tesla. Oh, we've got some news to talk about Elon Musk. We've got some stuff to talk about Elon Musk. Tesla is up 7.28 pre-market. Kohl's is still down 4% pre-market. Apple is back up to 139, even though it was 137 pre-market. So it ended below 140. And we're going to see how it goes. Morning, Amit. Morning, everybody. Code Rilla, what's up? Thank you guys for being here. It's just weird, man. This whole thing has been so weird. And the reason it's been so weird is because, like, I watched, you guys know Ken Griffin, the guy who runs Citadel? I watched him for 45 minutes last night really talk about the market. And he thinks for the next 4 quarters, we're not going to have a recession. So he thinks it's going to be okay. But after that, he thinks it's downhill. It is interesting to see what people think and what they don't think about what's actually going on in the markets right now. But the true thing is no one freaking knows. Like, just no one knows. Palantir, nice. 841 pre-market, up 1%. Tesla, again, the same as well. Elon Musk, we're going to talk about after the market. He's tweeted some stuff, and some information has come out about him. And, well, I don't know if you guys saw the article, but he was accused of some sexual harassment. We're gonna talk about it and see what's going on there. Bitcoin at 30 grand. Bitcoin is really loving 30 grand. It's really staying there, to be honest. That's kind of like the niche of Bitcoin. Futures turning south already. Oh boy. Can't start my work without watching these streams now. David, what do you do for work? I'm always interested in what people do for work. It's Friday, so it is a day we're closing out the week. I've had one hell of a week. Been some good stuff, been some bad stuff, but just got to get through it as much as we possibly can in these types of a week. All right, let's see if I can time this. The market is open. Wake your ass up, and let's go into the watch list. I expect it to be relatively flat today, but I think, we could go down. There it is. Okay. Oh, it's a lot of green. Lot of green. All right. It's green. I don't see much red at all, to be honest. Target is red, but everything else is green. Roku's up at 98. Apple at 139. Goog 2247. Costco's up. That's nice. Costco's been down pretty badly. Coinbase is up 3%. Tesla 715. Where's Palantir? Palantir's at 830. 829. Really not too much action there. Yeah, I mean, it's relatively green today. Nothing crazy. Not from what I'm seeing. But it is indeed green. David said, I work at a marijuana warehouse. LOL, I'm the guy always asking you to raise the volume because it's so loud in here. That's wild, bro. That's actually cool. That's so cool. Let me know if the volume's not good on this one. I can make it better. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Someone said, Amit, you should try your hands at a DCF stream. Will assist you in learning. I will anyway. Yeah, we can do some DCFs. What stocks do you guys want a DCF on? Because if it's a Palantir, we can definitely do an updated one. I mean, I did one a while back, but we probably have to have new assumptions now and things of that nature. Google 2200, Shopify back up to 400, Datadog 98. All right, let's talk about Elon Musk. So the Elon situation getting interesting and interesting and interesting. He tweeted Quarantine Quartet, what's up? He tweeted this the other day. In the past, I voted Democrat because they were mostly the kindness party, but they have become the party of division and hate, so I can no longer support them. I will vote Republican. Now watch their dirty tricks campaign against me unfold. Now, he tweeted this most likely because he knew this was going to happen, which happened last night. A SpaceX flight attendant said Elon Musk exposed himself and propositioned her for sex. Documents show the company paid $250,000 for her silence. Okay, now, I am not really going to talk about the article too much right now because I haven't fully gone deep into it, but the framing of this is definitely peculiar, right? Elon tweets a day before the article comes out that he's now a Republican and now this is a political attack. I mean, he obviously knew this article was coming out and he kind of got ahead of it in some way. So this is interesting. And now he's been tweeting even more that these attacks against me should be viewed through a political lens. This is their standard despicable playbook, but nothing will deter me from fighting for a good future and your right to free speech. This tweet was the kind of the weird one, I'm not going to lie. This was kind of like I don't know, when he says and fighting for your right to a free speech is I don't know. I was just to be very honest, I was just like, are you really fighting for my right to a free speech? Are you like this savior type of figure? Like, I don't know, it's just weird, bro. It's just like, just go build Tesla and SpaceX. Like, why are you, like, I don't know. It's to the point where he's trying to be so political that he wants to be like this figure that does presidential stuff. Like, this is something a president would say, right? Not really an entrepreneur who's just trying to build a big ass company. But I guess he cares a lot about free speech and stuff. And I guess that's what he's into right now. Let's see this. I didn't even see this. LOL. Elon Musk is going to vote Republican for the first time. The next day, a sexual misconduct allegation suddenly appears. Elon is leaning just how evil the left really is, but I have a feeling he's going to win. They began brewing attacks of all kind as soon as the Twitter acquisition was announced. In my 30-year career, including the Me Too era, there's nothing to report. But as soon as I say I intend to restore free speech to Twitter and vote Republican, suddenly there is. All right, that's just a little weird, to be honest, because obviously Elon's like, come on, we can all acknowledge that this is a little manipulative right here. As soon as I say I intend to restore free speech and vote Republican, suddenly there's an attack. You knew that there was going to be this article coming out. I mean, the article literally says that they reached out to you for comments. So you knew it was being published, but you put this like Republican framing before it is. I mean, maybe you guys believe that. I don't necessarily believe that, but okay. What is this? And then Twitter suppressed the thread where you denied all of the allegations. And for the record, these wild accusations are utterly untrue, but I have a challenge to this liar who claims their friend saw me exposed. Describe just one thing, anything at all, scars, tattoos, that isn't known to the public. She won't be able to because it never happened. Again, I'm not saying this article is true or not. I'm just saying the framing of it is very interesting. Because I'm not deep into the article yet. And I don't think anyone can know if the article is true or not. It's strange how this friend is the one who came forward and said everything. It's a hearsay. Exactly. Moreover, the friend in question who gave the interview to BI is a far-left activist actress in LA with a major political axe to grind. Interesting. Well, there's a lot going on here in the context of Twitter. Now, whatever side you stand on it is whatever side you stand on it. To me, the only thing is the Republican framing is just a little unique given he knew the article was coming out. But he could be right about this. I think we're going to have to see it play out. Let's get back to stocks, right? Because that's why we're all here. Stocks. But now the Tesla stock is going to be affected by. I actually am curious. So Tesla's up. You would expect Tesla to not have that great of a day because of that scandal coming out. But ultimately, it's a question of how the market interprets that scandal and how much they care about that scandal. Dun, 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 dun. You guys are saying the left is kind of crazy. Yeah, no, I understand the point. That's why I'm saying I'm not fully like saying Elon's wrong. Elon's incorrect. I don't know who's right or who's wrong. What I am saying is just the whole framing of the situation is weird. And that's the thing that's like interesting to me. Facebook is at 194. Facebook. Don't be left or right, be a mid. Yes. It's not always false, but it is used to put pressure on people. It was used with Bezos, and he knew it was true. He exposed something. Yeah, I agree with that. Facebook at 194. That's the wrong Facebook. Coinbase is 68. Let's go to CNBC. Let's see what news they've got there. I mean, they're probably covering this Elon thing. That's the big thing for them. Dow advances more than 100 points in rebound, but spends 8th straight losing week. Okay. Anything else? Anything crazy? Yeah, things are relatively flat. Things are not that insane. Things are not that insane. New Palantir product came out. It was Gotham Europa. I did a video on that yesterday if you guys want to check it out. Very, very interesting product. It's called Europa, not because it's for Europe, but I think they are heavily marketing it in Europe, which is why they kind of called it that. Because all the quotes on the product website page were about European officials and European intelligence agencies and what they say. So I think there's an argument there for what's being said. Bitcoin dropping down to below 30K, or not below 30K, but it's at the low 30s. Amit, you sound like you're getting sick. Are you okay? I'm not sick. My voice is just super deep in the morning. And the thing is, we didn't record Money Talks today. And usually when we record Money Talks, I get my voice to clear up. But we didn't record it today, so my voice hasn't had the chance to clear up. But it shouldn't be too sick. Snowflake at 145. Oh my. This is interesting. This is interesting. I'm very interested in Snowflake because of its growth, but I still feel like its valuation is, I don't know. It's not. I also, when I think of Snowflake to Palantir, I'm like, if I buy one stock of Snowflake, I get $145. I could buy like more than 12 Palantirs at 145. So, how is the Europe different from Gotham? Looked kind of the same target group. Might be wrong here. So Europa, let me just go to the website. It actually has a variety of different features that they're going for. And that's sort of the key difference here. Where is it? I think the website is right here. If we go to Reddit, and then we'll check it out. Amit has monkeypox. Bro, that monkeypox stuff is weird, bro. Let me Google that real quick. Is that monkeypox thing like a thing? Monkeypox? Yo. Is it like... Because I heard about it, and I'm just like, is this... Monkeypox is spreading around the world. Yeah, let's read this real quick. What is the disease and how dangerous? Health authorities in Europe, the U.S., and Australia are investigating a recent outbreak of monkeypox, haze, a rare viral disease typically found in Africa. Germany on Friday reported its first case of the virus. What? Germany found it? Ay, Dios míos. In the UK alone, cases have doubled since it was first identified on May 7th. The country now has 20 confirmed cases. My guy, this is this is not cool. Germany on Friday reported, okay, the US and Australia this week also confirmed their first cases as experts attempt the root cause of the recent spike. Well, this isn't being talked about as bad as COVID was. So, like, is this going to start being talked about as bad as COVID was? Or is this like a... Yeah, this is, 2 cases in Australia. Initial symptoms are fevers, headaches, muscle aches, swelling, and back pain. Patients typically develop a rash 1 to 3 days after the appearance. There are currently no proven safe treatments for monkeypox. Wow. Well, I hope this doesn't happen. If it does, Palantir is going to get some more business because, man, they're going to be required to solve this thing. But, sheesh, could you imagine, guys, if we have another pandemic after everything that's happened? Like, could you just imagine another pandemic? After everything that's happened, we got another one. Just like, hey, I'm here. How are you? It'll be wild. Okay, anyway, so Palantir, Gotham, Europa, again, they're quoting a lot of European, they're European law enforcement official. They're quoting European entities here, European intelligence agency. So I think they called it Europa because it's going to try to penetrate the European market. Like, it's just consistent branding. But Europa actually means Jupiter second, the smallest of the 4 Galilean moons orbiting Jupiter, and the 6th closest to the planet of all 80 known moons of Jupiter. It is also the 6th largest moon in the solar system. So that's what it's about. Hope you don't die, bro. Yeah, I hope I don't die either, bro. It's like, I'm not trying to die. That's rough. If they have the balls to try and let us believe into another pandemic, they must know we're stupid. Well, I guess it's going to be a question of if there actually is another pandemic. I mean, I hope not. I hope not. All right, let's see what CNBC is talking about on this Friday. Let me get rid of some of these tabs. All right, let's hear this one.
Elon Musk calling ESG a scam. After Tesla was removed from the S&P Global's ESG index, Elon Musk tweeting on Wednesday, quote, Exxon is rated top 10 best in world for environment, social, and governance by S&P 500, while Tesla didn't make the list. ESG is a scam. It's been weaponized by phony social justice warriors. Joining us right now to talk about this is Just Capital CEO Martin Whitaker. Martin, it's a fascinating issue. A lot of people on Wall Street have been talking about it over the past couple of days. What was your reaction to the S&P taking Tesla out of that list?
Well, when I saw the reasons for it, which they've been pretty transparent, it sort of reflected what we've been seeing in our own rankings, of the Russell 1000 companies. Tesla's done quite well on beneficial products, of course. It's primary product, but it doesn't do so well on worker treatment, discrimination, a lot of controversies around human rights. And when you look at what S&P has said about why it's sort of fallen down when a lot of the other auto or oil and gas companies, he mentions Exxon, have improved their performance, they've fallen to the bottom half of the industry. And that's sort of where we have them. I think they're 6 out of 11 auto companies in the Just rankings.
So, Martin, I think a lot of people look at ESG and invariably they look at the E, environmental. That's the thing that people talk about the most, perhaps more than anything else. And the question is whether that E is worth more than the S and the G in certain cases. And then, of course, they look at, an oil company and they say, how is it possible an oil company is on this list?
Yeah. No, I understand that. Look, I can't speak to others' methodologies, but Just Capital, we don't decide what those issues are or what the weights are. We ask the American people. We do that on a fully representative basis, across all political ideologies, gender, race, etc. And what you see actually is quite a lot of agreement. If you look at the top 3 issues that we measure, fair pay creates jobs in the U.S. and is more accountable to stakeholders. So, we see broad agreement on those issues, and we just try to let the data do the talking. So, I feel good about how we've approached it, but I could see, ESG has.
All right. It is interesting what we're seeing around ESG. Let me get another video. I want to see this other video about actual stock prices that I watched yesterday, specifically around what's going on. Let me see if I can find it. I think the ESG thing is interesting, though. Obviously, I think Tesla is way better than ESG. All right, let's go to this inflation one. Guys, I have to get something from downstairs real quick. I'll be right back. It's a 5-minute video. I'll probably be back in like 3 minutes. So hopefully everyone doesn't leave. But this is one of the things I want to talk about when it comes to inflation. So I'll be right back, and I'll start playing it right now.
Indices extending their double-digit losses from record highs, including a more than 29% decline for the NASDAQ, Jim, and that mix of everything from consumer discretionary to staples, nowhere to hide.
No, there is nowhere to hide. That I think yesterday was really interesting because, of course, even oil was down. All I want to point out is that there was a moment in time when all we cared about was the 10-year. And that time has come and passed, which tells me that should not have been the focus. The focus should have been the tipping point for when retail had to stop eating or eating inflation. A lot of the inflation had not been felt or seen, in part because it was at a level where it was almost hidden from the consumer. But it turned out to be just hidden from the consumer because the companies hadn't reported. So, David, my takeaway is that it's been simmering and simmering and simmering, and it boiled over in March and then really went nuts in April. And because the companies didn't report until early May, we just really didn't know how bad inflation was. Mm-hmm. It's much worse than we thought.
What about the demand side? Are consumers reallocating their spending,
Very
or
much so.
Are they slowing their spending?
Well, I think that they're spending at a different place than where we thought they would.
So reallocating.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're buying luggage. There was a weird kind of existential moment in the Target call where Brian Cornell says they're buying sunscreen. And now, I mean, I don't want Brian Cornell's a serious businessman, but what he's basically saying, I think, by that is they're not doing what we thought they're doing. They are done fixing up their house. Carl makes that point very clear. They're just buying little things now, and they're traveling, luggage. So what people are doing is doing something that we should have, I think, maybe presumed, which is that they're seeing the world. They're doing things with their lives because they've been locked down. They're not trying to spend even more time at home. They want to get on the road. Phil LeBeau would certainly tell you that, too. And anyone who's flown knows that you can just add a zero to wherever you go with the airline tickets.
You mean the fare?
Oh,
And people will pay it? I mean,
I think there's still not demand destruction there because people are just so happy to get away. And they use Airbnb, so it's not like you're getting caught with a hotel. But I am just shocked at the number of people who were misjudged. People wanted to go away, and where they go does not add up to retail. They just aren't. They're off they're not going in the aisles. I mean, unless you have a contractor who's trying to finish the project that started during it.
Well, Jim, when this week began, you and I were together on Monday, I believe it was.
I think I've seen you a couple times this month.
I think so. I think we've all been together maybe once this month, but it's good to be back, all three of us on the set. But when we were here on Monday, you talked about these retail earnings being key, without a doubt.
Yes.
And now we're through most of the big ones.
I didn't know they'd be this bad.
All right, but what is the takeaway for how you approach the market at this point? Obviously, a market that is going to be down yet again after a very poor day for the S&P that you can see right there yesterday. And, market sentiment, we can all talk a lot about that, what the end game for the Fed is and the fact that nobody's going to buy until they know. But what does this retail reporting period tell you in terms of your approach?
It tells me that as much as I like Jay Powell, he is so off the mark here.
What do you mean? You love Jay Powell. You've been singing his praises.
Of late, I've been in the Bullard camp, and you know that. Oh, no, that's right. You haven't been around. How much
Only you
have I been in the Bullard camp?
Father.
Have I been
Dad,
in
where the hell you been, Dad? You never around. You weren't around
Cats in the cradle?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I've been busy, my man.
It was Johnny O. Look, I think that it's very important to recognize. I think Bullard's been right. Esther George is talking. We're talking about 50. I mean, what the lesson of this is holy cow, things are so much more out of control than we thought. So I've been in the Bullard. I love Jay Powell. I think Jay Powell was doing a good job.
All right, how many people did we lose? Hopefully it's not a lot. Oh wow, we got more people. Awesome, that's great. I had 207. We have 216 right now. That's great.
He was concerned as much as she that maybe Omicron was going to be really horrible. He misjudged that, but he's not a public health official. But we have a guy named Bullard. Bullard is very sane. We need to shock the system. We need to bring things down right now. The only commodity that I know that is down and in half, chicken wings.
Meaningful deflation. You talked to Wing last night, right?
Really incredible.
We finally got some deflation in chicken wings.
But you know what's so bad? My wife and I came home. We ate them. Everyone's cutting back.
Cutting back on what? Their chicken wings?
No, I ate chicken wings for dinner.
Oh, you're cutting back, not the breast, just the wings.
Well, no, I'm just saying that the chicken wings were surprisingly good, and I was just shocked that they were half the price of what they were, and everything else is much more than what it was.
So it's an interesting point that he's making around inflation in general. And the thing about Walmart, the most important thing in their reports is that their inventories were up 32%. By the way, Tesla right down close to the 600 range. So their inventories being up 32% means that consumer demand is going down, which is good to stop inflation. And if that stops, that's good. Costs go down about 1%. The question is, how long is that going to sustain itself for? And if that's a trend, that's an ultimately good trend at the end of the day, because more inventories mean that consumers will be looking to not spend like crazy. Walmart, 119. Walmart and Target are starting to look like big buys. I'm not going to lie. Just like positions you want to have over time because you know they're going to be around. The question is just if next quarter it sucks, do you get, do you hold the bag with Walmart at that point? I don't think any of us want to. Palantir, 834. Not too bad. Palantir has been holding up well. Even the day where the market kind of went really down about 2 days ago, Palantir only went to like 780. It didn't go to like 630 like it did like a week ago. So I'm actually pretty proud of how well it's been holding up. The question is if this can ultimately sustain itself long term. Apple just struggling at that 140 mark. Apple is struggling right there. Palantir at $1 is a dream buying opportunity. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if it went at $1, could you imagine all of retail just scoops up like one of the most innovative technology companies in the world at $1, bro? That would be kind of insane. Let's see what else we've got. What else do we have? Twitter management, by the way, is saying the deal is going through. They do not want this deal to not go through. I think because they're recognizing that the stock price. I don't think Musk is paying $54.20, bro. I don't think Musk is going to pay 50. I do not think he wants to pay $54.20. I really, really don't think he wants that. Like, I don't think my guy likes that at all. I was trying to see if there's a tweet up there. Cruel summer. Gas could hit $6.20 per gallon nationally by August. Oh my. California drivers are grappling. How much? Write in the chat right now. How much do you pay for gas? I paid about $40 to fill up the tank yesterday. Should have been 45, but I already had a little bit left. How much are you paying up to fill up the? We need a chicken wing index. How much do you pay for gas at the pump? New World Order. Elon drops Twitter, buys Palantir. Bro, could you imagine? Could you imagine? That could soon be the fate of drivers in the rest of the nation, according to a JP Morgan analyst. $6.20. Ay, Dios míos. That's a lot of money. Right now it's $4.59 per gallon. And I'm in New Jersey, so I'm not seeing the worst of this average. I'm seeing like $4.67, but I know people in other parts of the states are paying a lot more. $60 to fill up today in NYC. Wow. Quarantined Quartet, you drive a lot in NYC? Are you in like the city where you drive, or you do need to drive in certain parts? Kansas City about $3.90 a gallon, 65 Canadian. What's 65 Canadian dollars to US dollars? 65 Canadian to USD. About 50 US dollars. Okay, gotcha. $50. 62 for Odyssey. Gas is $4.19 in South Carolina, $4.93 in Brooklyn. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, New York is crazy because New York you should think is like California type of levels, but New York for some reason they match more to New Jersey in terms of pricing than like the most elite parts of the world. Like living in San Francisco is way worse than living in New York. New York's still expensive though, but I've never seen gas at $5 for regular in New York. So the fact that it's getting close there, that's rough. 95 in Germany, $100 in Switzerland. In Portugal, 1 liter of diesel is around $2. Wow. We're in Brooklyn and we perform in many states, so we need to drive. Like today, performance in Pennsylvania. Ah, gotcha. That makes sense. Well, have a great performance in Pennsylvania. Everyone say have a great performance to Quarantined Quartet. They're a family of people that perform, and it's absolutely amazing. So I hope you enjoy in Philadelphia. Need some happiness in the market like this. Almost $4 per gallon in Australia. I used to be a trucker. Long hours, though, not worth it. My dad is a trucker, so I know how you feel. My dad, he doesn't go on long trips, but he has his own chip company, and he sells chips to supermarkets, and he drives a truck every day. So, Tokyo here, don't need these cars. Why don't you need cars in Tokyo? Can you explain this, Abbas? What is so amazing about Tokyo? Where do you just have all public transportation? I live in Miami. It's expensive. Yeah, bro. Florida is supposed to be cheap. No state income tax, you know, nothing. But now everyone who's rich just decided to go to Florida. And let me look up Miami living costs in Miami. Like if we make Miami the next San Francisco, Miami's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be cheap. €2 per liter in France. That's ridiculous. $9 in Australia. That's wild in Australian dollars. Cost of living in Miami. A family of 4 estimated monthly costs are $4,000 without rent. Okay, so usually in most parts of the world, it's in the United States, $4,000 with rent. So if they're not factoring in rent, transportation, utilities about one. It seems the good thing is you don't have to pay tax. I guess that's the good thing. Yeah, look at this 1-bedroom apartment, $2,300 in Miami. I mean, New York, it's like $3,500 and stuff, but still, that's a lot. Trains in Tokyo, interesting. Well, trains in Tokyo, that's cool. I mean, I could get away with trains in New Jersey. It's just not as efficient as having my own car, to be honest. Like, there's a good public infrastructure, though. Did Tokyo really use a fungus growth to plan the train system? I actually don't know about that. That's a question for the person above. Tesla under 700, it's there. That was like, again, now the question is how long does it stay there? Because it was there yesterday. Look, it's barely there. Barely. It's hit 697 today. Man, oh man. What's the market cap of Tesla? Market cap right now of Tesla, 725 billion. Okay, so that's cool. So if it goes to 800, no, it has to be like 750, 770 or something for 800. So 700 billion, 700 share price. What is a gallon in America and their silly measurements? Yo, that is wild, right? America, we use miles instead of kilometers. We use inches. We use feet. Like, we use gallons. We really don't use the metric system, and I don't know why, but I guess that's what we want to do. Tokyo, public transport is close and cheap to anywhere, and companies pay for commuting to work. Monthly ticket. Gotcha. Makes sense. Makes sense. I also wanted to talk about this argument about, so Ken Griffin, do you guys know who this guy is? I was watching him last night. One of the reasons he says we're not going to have a recession is because of the labor market. There's 11 million jobs that are open, and usually a recession that's bad, companies start cutting a lot of jobs. Now, we've seen some layoffs, but it hasn't been wide scale, which is why this recession is different than so many other recessions that we've had in history. Cracks in the U.S. economy start to show as recession warnings mount. Interesting. Oh, did you guys see this thing? Melvin Capital wanes down. Melvin Capital. They are shutting down. Melvin Capital to shut down after heavy losses on meme stocks. Melvin Capital was once one of Wall Street's most successful hedge funds, which then lost billions in the meme stock saga, will shut down as it was hit by this year's market slump. Gabe Plotkin, widely regarded as one of the industry's best traders after posting years of double-digit returns, told investors after 17 months that had been an incredibly trying time. Plotkin had been trying to turn around the firm, being caught in early 21 against retail favorite GameStop. They shorted GameStop and AMC, and they literally, they just got destroyed by everybody else. Amit, what percentage down are you on Palantir? Let me check. I am down 57%. 57%. I'm down. The firm had $12 billion in assets, and then they had $7 billion in assets a year later. They lost $4 billion to GameStop. Citadel and Point 27 Management or 72 Management used to back Melvin, and they lost their money in Melvin as well. At the end of the first quarter, Melvin's biggest investments were on included Live Nation, Hilton, Amazon, and Datadog. Their stock prices have fallen sharply as well. Wow. From 2014 to 2020, Melvin boasted an average annualized return of 30%. Wow. Melvin got annualized 30% for 6 years, and then the meme stock stuff happened, and it ruined them. Crazy. Dude, who would have thought that would have been a headline in 2022, right? Like, who would have thought Melvin Capital gets shut down because of meme stocks? Like, that's wild, my guy. That's absolutely wild. Wow, Tesla, 693. 693. See, but look, Palantir is holding up. If Tesla's going that far, Palantir should be going that far too, right? But it's like holding. I think this one might be a little bit more specific to Tesla and their issues, to say the least. Rost getting hammered after bad earnings. What's Rost? Rost store. Let's look at their earnings. This is they sell like it's kind of like a Kmart, right? Am I wrong on that? They sell clothing. Ross Stores. Discount department stores headquartered in Dublin, California. Well, let me go to their website. I want to see their website. Ross Stores. What do they sell? Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. They sell like basic stuff. It's like a dollar store or something, right? It's just in a where do they sell these? Are they in New Jersey? Oh, there's one in New Jersey. Oh, there's a bunch of them. Oh, wow. These guys have a lot of these. Northeast Philly. So they literally just I'm so confused how these companies survive. Like, what do they just sell random stuff? Look at this. They're selling, like, you could buy this anywhere. This little inflatable pool. What's their market cap? There's 25 billion? What? They're that big of a store? Oh my. $25 billion this company's valued at. There's more than Palantir. I should invest in Ross Stores. Let me look at their max chart. Oh, wow. They've been around. Okay, so they've obviously been around for a while. So they're like a legacy sort of company. 134 they were at May 2021. Now they're down to 70. They dropped 23% today. Yeesh, that's rough. Ross is TJ Maxx, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. They sell excess inventory from other. I'm right down the street from Ross here in Dublin. Dublin in Ireland, Yatidida, or Dublin, California? Dude, Ross is a massive chain. See, that's what I'm saying. When he said Ross Stores, I heard of it, but I felt like I heard of it, but I didn't remember if it's like a legit thing. Interesting. So let's look at their earnings then. Let's see how badly it was. 4.3 billion versus 4.5. Comparable store sales declined 7%. Well, if anything, this is good for the economy because if big retailers, again, are just not selling as much, it's not good in the short term, but these retailers will also benefit from it in the long term when inflation goes down. You got to get rid of inflation for them to be able to get back to normal. And in the short term, for Target, it sucks, but I think that's why Target, the CEO on the call, I didn't think he was that annoyed. He was just like, yeah, I mean, this is what it is. He's like, we can't do anything about it. He was like, we can't stop inflation. Once it's over with, we can get back to normal. But until then, like, it's not going to be pretty, and, like, we kind of have to deal with it. Never saw Ross in NYC. First time I heard of them. How does he not know this? Admit, where do you shop? Guys, I don't really buy stuff. Like, I went to Macy's the other day to get some shirts. You know those fancy shirts I've been wearing? I went to Macy's. I went to Kohl's. Kohl's, I guess I would say, is where I shop. But I don't shop. Like, the stuff I bought from Macy's and Kohl's was the first time I bought clothes within, like, 2 years. Like, I've been wearing this hoodie since 2018. Like, I don't buy clothes at all. I just don't like putting money on there. Now, sometimes I buy too much food. That, I admit, I have a problem sometimes. But clothes and stuff, I don't buy. Amit only stops at Gucci. Well, if my startup becomes success... By the way, we're getting ready to launch it publicly. Probably in mid-June. Let me just be real for a second. Raising capital... Oh, man, in this environment, you guys think stocks are bad. Think about, try imagining going up to random people and be like, hey, do you want to put in 10,000 into this unproven idea that, you know, probably is going to fail? People it's getting hard. Now, granted, I think there's a lot of things we've done to de-risk the investment for a lot of people. But it's getting rougher, man. I'm in there. Let me show you guys this thing. Let me give you guys a little bit into the startup world. What's going on right now? So who knows what Y Combinator is? Does anyone know what Y Combinator is? Put it in the chat if you know. Y Combinator is a startup accelerator. They're the biggest one. They've incubated Airbnb, Stripe, like some of the biggest names in Silicon Valley have gone through Y Combinator. So this is the message they sent out yesterday to founders. No one can predict how bad the economy will get, but things don't look good. The safe move is to plan for the worst. If the current situation is as bad as the 2 economic downturns, the best way to prepare is to cut costs and extend your runway within 30 days. You should get to default alive. If you don't have the runway to reach default alive, your existing investors or new investors are willing to give you more money right now. You should strongly consider taking it. Regardless of your ability to fundraise, it's your responsibility to ensure your company will survive if you cannot raise money for the next 24 months. Understand that the poor public market performance of tech companies significantly impacts VC investing. VC investing is the type of investing that I need for my startup. These are venture capitalists. These are people that raise money from other people that have big. It's like a Saudi billionaire will give a VC $500 million, and then a VC gives $500 million, like $1 million to 500 companies, and they hope one of them is the next Facebook. That's kind of how it goes. VCs will have a much harder time raising money, and their LPs will expect more investment discipline. As a result, during economic downturns, every top VC funds with a lot of money slow their deployment of capital. This causes less competition between funds for deals, which results in lower valuations. What that means is that if you have a company and you value it at like $8 million and you have another VC firm that's willing to value it at $12 million, you get a higher valuation, which means you have less dilution because you give up less percentage of the company because there's competition for those deals. That's why competition is good. If competition goes away because VC funds aren't deploying as much capital, then that means you're going to have to deal with lower valuations. Now, this is not a big deal for me. This is more so a big deal for funds that are trying to grow Series A, Series B in their funding. I'm a pre-seed startup, so our valuation of the company, it really doesn't matter, to be honest. Like that valuation, it's so small. Like there's no like real metrics to justify a big valuation because we're not a big company yet. So that's not a big deal for us. But if you think about companies that are like SaaS companies that are in their Series A, Series B stage, that's really important to think about. Someone says, ask Tom Nash to fund you or meet Kevin. Well, one of those guys is putting in some money. I cannot say who yet. And that we'll get into the explanation a little bit later. LOL, Amit So Fresh, he started his recession years ago, doesn't even buy clothes. Guys, I really don't buy clothes. I really don't buy clothes. This slowdown will have a disproportionate impact on international companies, asset-heavy companies, low-margin companies, hard tech, and other companies with high burn and long time to revenue. Basically, if you're a software company or a consumer company that can scale exponentially, it doesn't affect you that much, but otherwise, it's rough. For those who have started your company within the last 5 years, question what you believe to be the normal fundraising environment. Your fundraising experience was most likely not normal, and future fundraisers will be much more difficult. This is facts, bro. I know people who raised millions of dollars in 2020 because 2020 money was just being given away like it was nothing. No product, no, like the founder doesn't even have any passion or energy, no users, no growth, and like $4 million pre-seed. For those who don't get what that means, if you get $4 million in the pre-seed round, your valuation, you're giving up maybe 10, 15% in pre-seed. Your valuation is like 20, 30, $40 million. If you're getting $4 million in the pre-seed, like it's ridiculous. It makes no sense. And these companies were just raising it from top tier VCs like it was no big deal. So, you know, in one respect, I think I'm happy we didn't raise that early because we're much more disciplined and we actually have metrics, which most of these companies don't have. And we're raising on a super reasonable valuation. But nonetheless, it's still hard. I have 2 investor meetings today, 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. And, you know, I'm going to see the tone of how people are thinking of that. If you're a post-Series A and pre-product market fit, don't expect another round to happen until you have obviously hit product market fit. That I don't get. How can you be post-Series A and pre-product market fit? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how can you be post-Series A and pre-product market fit? Product market fit means that like your product is working in the market and now you just need to scale it. Post Series A means you've raised at least 30. How can you have raised $12 to $20 million and not have product market fit? That's how bad due diligence was over the past couple of months. Remember that many of your competitors will not plan well, maintain high burn, and only figure out they are screwed when they raise the next round. You can only pick up significant market share in economic downturn by just staying alive. So that was their thing. It was a little scary, the message they sent out, but they were trying to highlight the reality of what's going on in the markets. So for me, wow, Tesla's at 685. Oh boy. How's Palantir doing? Palantir's 8. Look at this. Palantir's down a couple cents. Tesla's down a lot of dollars. But anyway, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Fundraising is getting a little more tough, so we're probably going to have to delay the public launch of it around June 15th. When it does go public, anyone can invest. You can invest as little as $100 based on the platform we're using. So, like, theoretically, if all 220 people here invested $1,000, but like that's the cool benefit of a crowdfund, right? Like, if all 220 people watching and put in $1,000 and got a little bit of stake of equity in the company, we raised $200,000. Like, you know, but that's the cool nature of crowdfunding and what it is. But it's hard. It's very difficult. Asking people to give up $1,000, much less 10, 15,000 is, in this environment, it's not easy. And I'm bringing this up because in the context of the public valuations that we're seeing, like, it's like people are looking at their Tesla stock. Imagine you bought Tesla at 140 pre-split and you haven't sold yet. And you could have sold at 1,200 and now it's at 680. Like, your gains just got cut in half. And you must be thinking, well, it's not, I might as well, maybe I should sell, right? Maybe I should take that L. Or not L, maybe I should at least get some profit from that. Who's on the weekly Palantir show tonight? It's going to be, let me text Chris right now. It's Codestrap, Dom, and Jay. Jay is Jay Palantrillion. Codestrap will be there, though. He'll be there today. 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock. Disney might go sub 100 today. Oh, boy. How much left to raise? We have about 240K left to raise. We raised about 240 so far. Amit, you have partners in the startup. I have a co-founder. I have a CTO. So I have my co-founder. When I launch it live publicly, I'm going to be live for like 3 hours, and you guys can ask me as many questions as you want about the actual startup itself. That'll kind of be like a Q&A to think if you want to invest in it. I think that'd be kind of cool, right? When I launch it live, you guys can just ask me a ton of questions as if you're like VCs, and then you can decide if you want to invest or not invest. But yeah, Chris is investing. Yes, Chris is investing. He's actually the lead investor on the thing. Chris is investing. This is a bad time to start anything. See, that's the crazy thing about life, right? It's actually the best time to start something. It's just the worst time to start it. What I mean by that is I started this in 2020. And for anyone who ever does anything in their life when it comes to starting a business, it will take at least 2 years to actually get it to the point where you think it's ready to be something. So we've actually done this for the past 2 years. I mean, like, we've done a lot. Now we're trying to raise capital, and it was going well the past couple of months. And then in May, the market just crashed. Like, the market has been crashing, but in May, the market crashed. There's people who are going to invest that just have not returned my email because, it's rough. I understand. So I actually think the companies that are the most innovative and unique and have the most firepower can survive over the next 18 months, especially because we're in the pre-seed stage. But we just need to finish getting this round done. If we can get this round done, we can go for it. Especially if we have about 24 to 36 months of runway, which I think we'll be able to raise, will be good. But it's also like, that's also about life, by the way. I want to check out the QQQ. Is it below 300? Yeah, QQQ is below 300. If S&P goes to 34, our QQQ is going to probably 250. What was I going to say? If you're going to start something as well, the timing is never going to be elite. By the way, the video just cut off. And when I mean the timing is never going to be elite is like, there's never a right time for anything. Like, Airbnb started in 2008. Airbnb is a $100 billion company, and they started in 2008, right? One of the worst downturns ever. So it's kind of like you just do what you got to do. Like, you can't control how the world happens. You can control how you react to it. I know that's cliche. Wow, Tesla's below 680. So we started this. We're here. We're at the point where it's now or never. We're not going to wait a year to start raising money just because the economy sucks. Now we're here. We're going to get what we can, and we're going to go for it. And that's just how it is. Is it for American citizens only, or anyone can invest? As long as you're not in Canada, you can invest. I'm sorry to the Canadians, but the platform we're using is banned by Canada because Canada has banned every single crowdfunding platform because Canada's just like kind of wild. But you can, anyone can invest around the world. Recessions are the best time to start a business. That's also true because those recessions allow you to have a lot of discipline. And as a result of having discipline, if you survive, then you win. Like at Airbnb, they just had to survive 2008. They survived, they became huge. Most companies will die because they just don't have the fortitude to like get through it. What is your take when Tom said a month ago, this will be the last time you get Tesla under 900? Not bashing on Tom. I'm one of his subscribers. Yeah, I mean, I think no one can predict this stuff, to be honest. So, I mean, I think Tom, the thing about Twitter is it's in the heat of the moment. He probably tweeted that, right? Maybe he said it in a video. I think all of us have said stuff over the past couple of months because none of us knew what was happening. And our job as content creators is to give our take in the moment. So, yeah, I understand. But, I mean, if you like Tesla at 800, Tesla at 684 must be super attractive. And I'm not saying that in a condescending way. I'm saying that in so there's two investors I have that are investing in the startup who are so balls deep into Tesla. And one of them actually let me drive it. I went to get dinner with him to close the deal back in March. We went to Cheesecake Factory, by the way. And so we went to Cheesecake Factory and we closed the deal. And then I didn't have a Tesla, but he had a Tesla. He's like, you ever driven a Tesla? I was like, no, I've never driven a Tesla. And he let me drive his Tesla. And I was really hoping not to crash it because I was like, man, this guy just gave me a lot of money. If I crash his Tesla, that would suck. But I was driving it and I was like, oh, this is a dope car, right? I understand. So he's just like been loading up on Tesla like crazy. I mean, like this guy is like Tesla. So he's deep into Tesla. I tried to, give him the bear arguments. He didn't want to hear it. And I was like, this guy's investing in my company. Let me just agree with him. Like, yeah, bro, Tesla to the moon, Tesla. But again, and I'm not a bear against Tesla. It's just if we're getting into a S&P 500 crash, 340, Tesla's not going to survive it either. No stock's going to survive it. And that's when I think it's really going to be important to buy it as well. Sean says, started a company here in France in Q4 2007. Everyone said I was nuts. We were overbooked from day one. Good luck. I hope it's just not a wallpaper company. I love it, Sean. Can you tell us what the company was? That's amazing. I love that story. Go for it, Amit. Aim for the stars. You might get the moon. Absolutely, man. Look, it comes to a point in your life where if you've done something and you believe in it and you believe you've got the juice to get it done, you could fail, but you could also win. And, this has been a very strategic process over the past 6 months getting this ready to go. And now it's time to go for it. And so I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. It's going to be fun. Now, Sean, I'm mad you said don't start a wallpaper company because that's actually what the startup is. So you just kind of crushed my dreams right now. And Quarantine Quartet says, I sold my Tesla at 750 when Tom made that video and I wanted to cry. And I put it all into Palantir. Well, you'd be down either way. If your startup idea is so good, why do you not invest your whole net worth in it? That's why I never invest in startups. That's a good question. The reason people don't invest, first of all, I have invested my own money in my startup because the past 2 years, whether it's time or actual money, there was no money coming from the startup and there was no external capital. So me and my co-founder, 50-50, we own the company. Whether it's AWS costs, whether it's incorporation fees, whether it's subscription costs to software products we have to use, we put that money up ourselves. But in terms of investing your whole net worth, you've got to remember that when someone the only reason someone starts a startup is because they don't have enough money personally to go build something. If I had $500,000, I would invest a sizable chunk of it because that's how much I believe. You don't have that money. And that's the situation most people are. They don't have the money to invest. That's why they have to raise capital and give up equity. Number two, when you start a startup, you don't really have a salary. You don't have an income. Like when you're all in on a startup, I'm not going to have an income. Maybe, whatever I get from YouTube, that's great. But my actual consulting firm that's doing pretty well, I'm quitting that. Like I'm leaving that. I told my clients the other day I was leaving and they were so sad. They were like, but we need you. I was like, I know, but I need my dreams. And, and they love me. I have such a good relationship with my clients, but that's what it is. And so you can't, if you don't have money and you don't have an income, you've got to get money from somewhere. And that's why venture capital exists. That's why angel investors and high net worth individuals and family offices, these things exist for a reason. And the other thing is it takes away a little bit of the risk. If you put your entire net worth into something, you're not going to be able to sleep well at night. Like it's especially something as risky as a startup. Part of being a good founder is having a little bit of mental peace, knowing that you have a little bit of money in the bank to survive, right? You're not going to have a lot of money in the bank to survive, but that's why raising money from other people, it just helps you get through the process of doing it because it's not literally everything you have. And most of the times, everything you have is not enough to start a startup. Each podcast stream comes with a square of wallpaper. Yes, that is true. Electrical contractor. That's awesome. Wow, Sean. That's amazing. Too many YouTubers got subs because they bought a lottery ticket and won. Yeah, I agree. I think being a YouTuber is very hard to keep it consistent, keep it going. At least it's better than those bed sheets he had up. Is that when you saw my my tour of my room? I should give you guys a tour. My room is kind of messy right now, bro. My room is like a little messy. It's smart. You aren't putting 100% of your net worth in the startup. Don't let someone convince you that means you don't have passion for it. It's smart to diversify your investments. Yeah, it's like, also my 100% of my net worth is not going to fund the startups. So it's just like, that's just not how investing works. Like, that's not how a startup world works. The other thing is you want strategic people part of your business, right? Like, you want people that can actually like give influence. So like some of the startups we have, some of the angel investors we have, they've worked at CBS, they worked at Netflix, they've worked in the data analytics space, they worked at Goldman Sachs. Like, there's just people that can advise you and help you, you know, because if you're trying to take on the world, it's not the easiest thing. But if you have someone else, it works. Okay, you trained for this question, right? Guys, it's not even, I've been in a pitch at least 5 times a day for the past 5 months. And I'm not being hyperbolic here. And if we go back to 2021, I met with like 30 VCs, rejected by all of them, which is why I started going to angel investors, because you can't, like, a VC is not going to give you a couple million. They're just like, they don't know you well enough. But an angel investor who has a relationship with you, they can give you 5, 10, 25,000. So that's my advice for anyone who wants to raise money. You're not going to raise money from the VCs unless you're from Stanford or Harvard, or you have some connection to Silicon Valley. They'll take the meeting because they always want to take the meeting, but they're not going to pay you. You got to find people who actually care about you. So I have been in so many pitches. And I've recorded all of them. That's the fun thing. So it's going to be super fun when I like show the journey of the startup eventually with the YouTube content. I've recorded every single pitch I've been in. You guys are going to get to see me live pitch someone, change their mind, answer their question, deal with the rebuttal, all of that stuff. It's like I made sure to record all of them because I knew it would be fun to look back on one day. The first pitch I had in July 2021, I basically shit my pants. Like, I was so nervous. Like, the guy was like, "What's your name?" I was like, "My name is Mr. Cook." Like, it was so bad, bro. And then you get through that, right? And it sucks for a day or two, and then you get the next one, and then you have the leverage. Then someone asks you a question, and you're like, "All right, so here's how this works out," and you kind of just explain everything to them. And it was the black curtains, bro. The black curtains. I was going through a phase. You know how teenagers have like an emo phase? I was going through a phase. Anytime someone builds a business up at the start, you hear nothing but the pessimistic people. People can't do something themselves, so they'll tell you your idea is bad. Yeah, you know, it's about developing a thick skin. It's about developing a thick skin. And like, you know, when I announce my startup, I know that there's going to be people that are like, "This is stupid. This doesn't make sense. You're going to get beat by this competition, blah, blah, blah." Like, I've heard it all. I understand it. There's a good quote by Elon Musk that said when he was sitting with Charlie Munger and he was giving them the idea about Tesla, Charlie Munger said that'll never work. And Elon Musk was, yes, it's probably never going to work, but it's good to try. I'm not comparing myself to Tesla or Elon. What I'm saying is, metaphorically, even if you think it's not going to work or the world thinks it's not going to work, the pursuit of trying is like, it's what really makes life meaningful. Everyone's going to die eventually. And you don't want to be that guy that had the chance, but that didn't try. And when you try, it's a question of execution. There's a lot of strategic stuff there. It's not, pie in the sky. I'm just trying. Let's see what happens. It's like, no, you've got to like be an operator to get things done. But to be delegitimized by people who say, it's not going to work, and that's why you're not going to try. That's the worst reason to not try. You know. Pursuit of happiness, absolutely. What's a good price to buy Tesla at this market? I don't. Also, you have a great head of hair. I'm jealous. Don't let Tom clown you. Tom's jealous of my hair. Great price to buy Tesla. I don't know. Put it in the chat. What's the best price to buy Tesla? Because I don't know. Maybe 500. Maybe 550. I don't know. RK says, "Bro, I want to see the pitches." You guys are gonna see it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun when I put up that content. Literally, bro. It's me. I remember talking to this one guy who was just like, he was like against it for some reason. And like, he didn't give me a good reason. He was just like competition. I'm like, my guy, like, that's why VCs never talk about, what if Google beats you? It's like, that's the stupidest question to ask. Cause like, Google is Google, YouTube is YouTube, Facebook, they're all going to exist. Like, at one point they become so big that yes, they could crush you, but more often they're not. They're way too bureaucratic to actually just like go at the speed at which a startup is going. So he just brought up competition, and I gave him the answer to competition, which I have a pretty good answer to it. And then he was just like, he didn't have any other retort to it. And then I could see his face visibly change as I was like explaining how we would do it. And it was just a cool process to see kind of how that happened. Amit loves his hair, playing with it all the time. I don't love it. As you can see, it gets in my eye, and that's why I have to do this. No, I do love it, but I'm not playing with it to play with it. It's more so just to get it out of my eye. That's all. Best price equals cheapest price. Let's go back to Tesla My Esla here. Ross Store 72. Tesla 683.82. Palantir's holding up 827. Nothing crazy. I'd write out the Tesla drop before I add more with possible legal issues. Who knows the bottom? Yeah, man. The Elon. I'm just like, this Elon Twitter stuff really put a damper on Tesla this year. And the sad part is this Twitter stuff, like, I think all of us were like, yay, free speech. Now all of us are like, who cares? I mean, maybe some of you still care, but I don't know. I don't think I care that much. I kind of was into it. I was like, yeah, free speech. I'm like, I don't care that much. Like, and I don't think Elon cares either, because he did not care about bots before until the market crashed. Admit, you ever thinking of changing the hairstyle? Bro, I did in 5th grade. Some girls made fun of me. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I should get a buzz cut. Yo, I think I would look okay in a buzz cut. No, probably won't. Yeah, probably not change the hair. I did have a little ponytail, like a Naruto thing, like where you kind of put your hair like this and you wrap it like that. Yeah, I didn't. That didn't work out too well. Amit, do you have protection on your new technology? So there's no patents. This is not a platform where you get patents. This is more of a consumer product. The value in this product is, can you get people to use it? There's nothing to patent. It's anyone can make our product in a day. This product is mainly about distribution and marketing. It's about why would people use it, not do you have some patent pending technology. It's not like some specific software. It's not like a Palantir where you need to. And by the way, software patents don't really. I mean, they're good, but they're not really enforced that much. So in the pre-seed stage, you're not going to, unless you have some brand new invention, you're not really going to patent it in a way that makes it meaningful. You've got to just get people to use the product, and then you scale from there. So not really about that. Bro, Tyler Durden is having a fight club in your hair. That's true. No buzz cut. Investory is like, no buzz cut. No buzz cut. I mean, needs a man bun. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. It was a man bun. It was a man bun. Elon is literally trying to weaponize the delusional right. It's pretty sad. You know, that's one perspective. I'm not saying I totally agree or disagree, but there is one argument that Elon is trying to weaponize some people on the right that are a little bit more privy to being weaponized. All right, is that it? We've gone for almost an hour now. Well, an hour now. I think it's time for me to call it a day. I've got 2 meetings with investors, 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock. Let's see if I can close some deals. I mean, if you cut your hair, I'll ban you from the Discord. Wow, that's so mean. Wait, is this startup that stock Tinder idea? Why wouldn't a company add that as an option? It's not stock Tinder. So I think yo, do you really think it was stock Tinder? So on Twitter, I think I tweeted a while ago, people should be dating through their stock preferences or something. Like if you like Palantir, you swipe right on each other. It's not Tinder for stocks. No, that's not happening. It's not Tinder for stocks. Would you be open to a Web3 based approach? So it's a good question, Big Ray. I really think the Web3 approaches to these things are not correct. I've done a lot of research. I mean, I've done hours and hours of research on how it would work. Building a blockchain decentralized version of this, personally not a fan of it. Maybe if it gets super powerful. And so for example, let's say like Spotify, YouTube, the big guys were all going to decentralize and go blockchain. Then I think every startup should probably follow that suit. But if the big guys are not doing that, it's also important to recognize why they're not doing that. And it's also important to recognize with all the crypto hacks, with all the non-securities for blockchains, with all the lack of user friction it is to sign up to things. And like it's a Web3 social play, I personally do not think is going to be that big. I personally don't. I also think you have to centralize attention for attention to even be valuable from a discovery perspective. And if you're decentralizing the attention and like letting people create their own algorithms, that doesn't really allow discovery at scale, which is why we all use the platforms that we use today. So maybe, but probably not. Quarantine Quartet, good luck at noon. I'll be passing through your state at that time. Love it. You can build a social network in one day if you want the values in your users. Yes, that is correct. David says, I'd struggle to just scroll a social network in one day. Yes, that is correct. Like, it's hard to create a social network in one day, but you could code it within a couple of months, to be honest. The question is the user and the network effect that you get. Dope. Amit, I thought your startup, you were trying to get a search engine algorithm. Yes, it is. And you will learn more about it, Glitch Life, as we launch it. All right. I think that's it. We're done. Thank you guys so much for joining. I appreciate everybody. Gonna go try to kill these investor pitches and land some deals. I'll see you guys Monday morning, 9:20 a.m. on another Market Open live stream. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.